In terms of cutting off the ring, last fight notwithstanding, Canelo has gotten much better at cutting off the ring. But, you know, early in his career, he had a problem with that and was much more comfortable counterpunching. But overall, I have to say Crawford. If you go down the list and ask me about tactical advantages, most of them are Crawford. What Canelo has is size, and as a result, physical strength and punching power.
A fighter never think about lose, like always prepare yourself to win, no matter how, no matter what. I'm gonna put my everything there, all my talent, my experience, and the best man is gonna win.
You know, but this is the sport that we in. We in the hurt business. We know what to expect. We know what's at risk. We know the things that can happen. As a fighter, you know, we get nervous, but we never get, well, I can't speak for everybody else. I never get scared because I've been doing it for so long. I've been in the ring with guys bigger than Canelo. Come fight time, we definitely gonna try to take each other's heads off, and the closer the fight goes, we both gonna be eager to, you know, show who's the more dominant fighter, you know, and our intentions is gonna be pure, but at the same time, it's not gonna be friendly.
He's a dog, he's a beast, and he's out to prove something too. So I'm excited about this fight. Canelo obviously is self-explanatory. There's really no need to go down the rabbit hole when it comes to him. But I do see this being as a 50-50 fight.
How do you see this fight with Canelo going?
I'm definitely going to win the fight for sure. But, you know, I think it's going to be a tough fight. You know, I think he's going to bring the best out of me. I'm going to bring the best out of him. And it's going to be an exciting fight.
You have the performance that you know you're going to have, right? They can't deny you anymore.
I don't know, but I don't give a fuck, dude. So I feel I'm the best, and that's it. I don't focus on if the people say or put me in the first position. I'm the best. I feel I'm the best. I'm doing because I love boxing.
September 13th isn't just fight night, it's destiny. Canelo Alvarez walks in with unshakable confidence, certain he'll conquer Terence Crawford under the brightest lights. This isn't to defend its legacy on the line.
Canelo has definitely slowed down since those fights, but even with that, he's still a tremendous force in boxing. Big body puncher, physically very strong, great timing as a counter puncher. So you can't take anything away from Canelo, and Crawford has one of the best boxing IQs in the ring. So it's a great matchup. It's one of those fantasy matchups that people always talk about, and you know, they were able to make it happen for this show here, and I'm really looking forward to this fight.
Promoter Tom Loeffler said this isn't just another boxing match. It's two titans going down on the biggest stage possible, the ring, and make no mistake, it is a ring. Loeffler brought the same excitement of a fight that comes at the right time in the fight calendar, not too late, not too early. Moreover, he articulated the imagery of two dreaded warriors who have no fear of their opponent or laying it all on the line. He reminded the audience, even as he began to show a few signs of age, that Canelo is still a beast. His timing, balance, and pure physicality will make him dangerous at every moment in the fight. He acknowledged Crawford for just being brilliant, referencing that his ring IQ is unmatched in boxing. Loeffler produced praise for both competitors, which gave the fight the sensation and feeling of a pitch-perfect dream matchup. Loeffler made it feel like what fans are about to witness is more than probably history, but fantasy come true.
I don't want to take anything away from Canelo because Crawford has a really high ring IQ, but so does Canelo. Canelo's more of a counter puncher. He sets traps. Crawford, I have to give, you know, with his boxing ability, his hand speed, his foot speed. Canelo physically, I would say, is a little bit stronger. He can kind of impose his will. on it. You know, it just it's such a great matchup. I wouldn't be surprised if either one.
Loeffler demonstrated his keen insight into the sport of boxing by explaining both men's ability to bring different yet equally lethal weapons into the ring. Loeffler described Canelo's ability to trap his opponents and then methodically work in rigid counterpunches with precise ferocity. At the same time, Loeffler labeled Crawford with astounding speed, exceptional mobility, and otherworldly ring intelligence as the polar opposite. The theme shifted effortlessly to the topic of experience, and Loeffler acknowledged the importance of having been involved in title fights on a big stage as a defining chapter in a champion's career.
We're to win the fight. I think Canelo's been on this big stage before. I think people kind of dismiss him a little bit with that last performance that he had over there in Riyadh, but when you have an opponent like John Skull who's not going to engage, it's really hard to look good against someone like that. So I would give the edge to Canelo because he's been in that position before.
He implied that Canelo's past experience under the brightest spotlight gives him the motivation. While some could disregard Canelo due to his past couple of performances, Loeffler argued with full conviction that it is never easy to shine against someone else who does not want to engage. His words had hints of, let's see if Crawford gets a very different Canelo. A hungry Canelo who wants to prove you wrong added some intrigue to the fight. Positing this as an experienced fighter versus an ambitious fighter added to the suspense. From that point, Loeffler also broached one of the hottest debate topics, whether weight may or may not be a part of the outcome.
I don't think the weight is as big as a lot of people are saying because Crawford probably walks around at that weight, probably only has to drop a couple pounds, but you know, he's the type of guy that can easily put on the muscle and the mass and use his hand speed, his foot speed to box. So I just think that if Canelo is able to impose his will and throw the body shots and throw some counter punches, I could see him, edging out a win on that night.
His opinion broke through the clutter, alluding to how the weight being an imposed or mental obstacle is not what many think. Crawford, he alluded, has been walking around at that weight, and the shock to the body would be mitigated. More specifically, it will just be a question of how he utilizes his speed and skills against Canelo's brute force. Loeffler imagined a fight that gets down to how he fits in the body shots and counters to see if that equals everything else, clear in his statements. Whoever can impose their style will be able to dictate the night. After that, Loeffler then zeroed in on a deadly weapon that he believes could be a game changer.
Body punches. He's got some great, either a counter punch to the head or he's got some great left hooks to the body that really are effective. So he can easily wear you down. So that I think that's what Crawford has to look out for is those tricky body shots that Canelo throws.
He mentioned those signature shots that don't just hurt, they break opponents down round after round. But the way he described it, Canelo's left hook to the body is not just a punch, it's a game changer. While there will be much more to the Canelo-Crawford matchup than just body shots, the cumulative effect is something that could slowly steal Crawford's speed, timing, and openings to counter Canelo. Loeffler's tone made it seem very clear. For Crawford's sake, everything needs to be on point. If he ever plans on taking those shots clean, the question then becomes, can a genius like Crawford just survive that? As he transitioned to strategy, Loeffler presented the dangerous traps Crawford cannot afford to fall into that will leave him open to damaging shots.
I would agree with that. Crawford has to be really careful with those body shots. He definitely can't get lured into a firefight. He's going to lose. If it's a back and forth type of situation, that's not where Crawford wants to be. He wants to stay on the outside, use his his speed, his skills, and really, I see him boxing Canelo. Now, if he hurts Canelo, then he can go there and start going toe-to-toe. But, Canelo's the type of guy you don't want to stand in front of that guy because he really can start to pick you apart.
Loeffler's main point was that a shootout with Canelo will take away Crawford's biggest advantages, so Crawford will have to stay on the outside, using speed and intelligence and maintain that distancing for the entire fight. Loeffler's dissection sounded less like an opinion and sounded more like a roadmap to his survival. He painted the picture that for Crawford to take home the victory, he will need to box perfectly, and even still, Canelo and his hollowed shots will continue to loom over all rounds like a Festus bullet from a radioactive weapon untouchable on this planet. Canelo himself is confident in his greatness and reflects proudly on what this now means.
he's one of the best fighters for more fun. No, he accomplished a lot of things too. Mexican with the American fighter is always big.
His words were a calm certainty, the kind that only comes from a fighter who has done it all. He reminded us that clashes between nations and styles are what make legends in the ring. The way he framed it was that the task was far bigger than belts. It was about national pride and history colliding. The tone of his words conveyed respect not only for the game, but the opponent standing in front of him. The intensity of the anticipation for the bout only intensified. And then came his cautionary note, as Canelo admitted that this fight will push boundaries in ways no one has ever experienced before. His words also had an air of mystery about them, as if he were anticipating some unexpected moments along the way. His tone helped enforce the notion that every moment inside the ring could feel like something new, even to a champion.
To have a good fight, you need both fighters. Boxing is you throw, you get in there and move your waist, move around a little bit, but throw punches, get in there. That's boxing. But when you have one fighter like we saw with the skull, like running and running, that's not that kind of fight you want, right? And it's very difficult to close that waist and everything. You close him, he jump right away. It's very difficult. What kind of style is that?
It was raw belief in himself that made champions unassailable, even as critics circled. His confidence sounded not forced, but natural, as if greatness had always been his reality. There was an intangible bite in his tone, an indication that he is firmly aware of how special he is. For the fans, it was a bit eerie and a little righteous, listening to a fighter call himself special. And when Canelo talks in that way, how can you not believe him? Moments after that, he made a sharp statement with total respect for Crawford's skills, indicating that he sees the danger somewhat differently.
You need to be very focused and be careful. And anybody can carry you, right? But if you're smart and you know how to box and everything, it's very difficult.
His words felt like a fighter who is not naive about risk, but chooses not to be rattled. He reminded everyone that skills are useless against people who know how to think and adapt. It was an inside track to Canelo's strong and calm mindset, where calmness melts fear. He stated he knows that Crawford has skills, but he believes that intelligence and caution are his shield. In that region, the fight only becomes more suspenseful. Canelo wrapped up saying Crawford is a respectful fighter and gave him credit, but made sure that his voice was just as clear. He spoke with honesty.
I don't know, we'll see. But what I know is he's a good fighter, very smart fighter, and very disciplined. He needs to get credit for that, but I am too.
Calling Crawford smart, disciplined, and worthy of admiration, but at the same time, he reminded everyone that he too carries those same qualities. The balance of respect and confidence made the matchup feel even more dangerous. It was as though two mirrors were about to collide, each reflecting greatness back at the other. That ending left one thought echoing. Something monumental is about to happen, but not everyone is buying into the idea of Canelo walking away with the win. Abdul Khan, who has sparred with Terence Crawford, brought a very different perspective. Khan's understanding came not from a distance, but from standing in front of Crawford's speed, timing, and skill.
He's the best fighter in the planet, in my opinion. He's just so disciplined and dedicated, and I feel like he will beat Canelo. I think he'll win on points, and I think he'll be it'll be a good shot-out win, to be fair, and I feel like he's the best in this generation.
There was authority in Khan's words because Khan had a first-hand reference, and he believed in it completely. He sounded like a man full of conviction, describing Crawford had discipline and sharpness like nothing he had seen before, which came with it a tone of certainty, trying to round out Crawford as a fighter that rose above the rest. For Khan, there is nothing hopeful about Crawford. He believes Crawford's greatness will be affirmed in the ring. Even the voices around the sport are sensing the gravity of this clash. One of the loudest came from Joel Diaz, a man who knows Canelo in ways the average fan never could. Diaz, who once prepared Dmitry Bivol to face the Mexican superstar and now works with Israel Madrimov, didn't hold back when asked about the fight. For Diaz, the outcome already feels written, as if destiny has tilted the scales. He spoke not like a man tossing out predictions, but like someone who had already played the fight in his head and knew the ending. His words carried the weight of first-hand experience, experience, of long hours spent analyzing Canelo's habits, his strengths, his hidden gears. Diaz has seen Canelo up close, felt the intensity of his presence in a fight camp, studied the way he breaks opponents down methodically. To him, Crawford may be brilliant, but brilliance alone is not enough against a fighter who combines skill with sheer physicality and experience at the highest level.
Nothing more needs to be said about Canelo Crawford, two icons fighting each other, but when you have two young guys that are undefeated, both big knockout records that aren't going to run, both very confident, they wouldn't have taken the fight if they didn't think they were going to win. And it couldn't be on a bigger stage than the co-feature at Allegiant Stadium on Netflix. So we're really excited about it. This is the type of fight that Dana was saying that, the fights need to happen at the right time, not, 5 years past the due date. And, like His Excellency Turki Al-Sheikh was saying, this is definitely not a Tom and Jerry type of fight. These guys are going to come out there and bang, and I think the crowd is going to love this fight for sure.
As we wrap this up, one thing is clear. This fight is not just about punches, it's about pride, legacy, and survival at the top. Canelo enters the ring with the attitude of a king, while Crawford's team feels confident he will rely on his quick thinking and discipline. Both camps sound certain and confident, but only one man will prove it in the ring. So the questions: will Canelo's power and experience be too much, or will Crawford's intelligence and hunger turn the tables? Is Crawford strong enough to handle the physical strength of a man who has been dominating for so long, or will Canelo finally face the one fighter who will truly dethrone him? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and stay tuned for more videos like this, because the main event is already underway.